Oi, oi! Greyhound Derby quarterfinals are coming up, so technically would be classed as round 4. There was no video for round 3. Two reasons why: I've taken some time off the actual day job for a couple of weeks, so I was at Centre Parks. Did have a good couple of bets myself as well, and I was very close to posting a video, but obviously I didn't. So potential bit of after timing, but wasn't getting too many views on the dog stuff up to now. I don't know how many of you would have seen, but dog guesser Craig Day that I had on for round 2 absolutely smashed it out the park. £500 worth of stake, got a 20-1 winner in there. He made £885 profit, which all went to, I think it was Lincolnshire or North something, Greyhound Trust, another rehoming thing. So that's another bit of money raised for charity. I'm going to quickly go through the card now because we've got the quarterfinals of the Derby, we've got the start of a sprint competition and the Derby plate. So just want to, give my thoughts on where the money might be going this weekend. As I touched on, I put some bets on this weekend. I was meeting up with some family to go to the dogs as well. And just being honest, as a punter, like, I'm trying to still find the balance of what I'm happy to lump on a dog or lump on a bet, and trying to find that comfort level. So Ballymac Fair one was one that I backed for £400 in the betting shops. I'll stick the slips up on the screen. 6 to 4, I thought it was a good price. He was a little bit big with Bet365. I just can't get enough on with them. So basically I did that, and then I felt a little uncomfortable. So I asked for 400 in the first shop. They said I could have 200, and then I just went to another one, put another 200 on. But I felt a little bit uncomfortable with it. So I thought the dog would be an even money poke. So I thought I knew that I'd be able to lay him at 11 to 10 on the exchanges. So gave myself some time to think about it, and then I did actually put a lay up for 200 quid at 2.1. So £75 worth of profit came out of that. He did duly oblige, so didn't need to be such a wuss, but you'll see that in the profit and loss, because what I'm going to do is I'll record my screen. I'm going to show you the Betfair stuff to show you how it's been going since the start of the Derby, and then I'm going to run through my fancies for it. So probably no better place to go now than to switch to the screen. As I say, with all of this stuff, it's my views, my opinions. I'm not telling you this is surefire way that they're all going to win. We're going to make loads of money out of it. Anti-post bets are doing okay. We've got a few left in there. They've all been drawn pretty much in different heats, 2 in 1, so pretty happy with how it's going. Ballinabola Ed, someone did mention in the comments saying no love for Ballinabola Ed, even though I had mentioned him and I'd put a bet on him. He looks like he's going to shit home in it, but he's a 2 to 1 poke now, which isn't terrible priced, I don't think. But we'll just need to see what gets through. If lots of trappers get through, that could be the only slight concern, but he looks like an absolute monster. Anyway, as I said, I'm going to go onto the screen. We'll have a look at some of the stuff. I'll talk through some of the bets and things that have gone on. You might class it as a bit of after timing, but I wasn't sure whether to put the video up, but as I say, not too many people watch it anyway, so I am putting it up. And the point of starting the dog betting stuff is Wayne Harrison will be in the comments saying that it's a mug game, you lose money. Loads of people say it in the comments that you don't make money on the dogs. I'm going to show you that we are making money on the dogs. It's with my snobbishness. You know, I like the graded races, the top, well, grade 1s really, in National Hunt Racing. It's the same with the dogs. Once you get to the top tier, it's much easier because they're running on merit, they're a bit more consistent. They are like winning more, not machines, but they have the aptitude and the attitude to go and win races more often than not. So without further ado, I'm going to have a quick look at this. You will see some bets for some really bad graded races, like some A9s and stuff at tracks, but by the by, I won't talk too much about those. There's more focus on the Derby, but we'll quickly go through the card. I say quickly, as quick as I can. I want to give it attention, and then we will go from there. So, landing on the Betfair exchange, you'll see there is a bit of money made from the horses, but 1,800 quid up on the dogs. 885 of that is Craig's money from last week, and 75 of that's Davies. So take 960 off that total. That would show you how much I've made on the exchange since the start of the Derby. That's why I said it as the 19th. You can see there's bits on other dogs and pieces that have gone in there as well. This is the lay here of Ballymac Fair one, where, like I say, I backed him at 6 to 4. Managed to lay. So obviously my 6 to 4 was 200 to win 300 in one of the bets, and then 200 to win 300 that I left. So £74 worth of like arb left on there. Just didn't feel that comfortable with him. I knew that I could lay him at a price. And as I say, with the value lines that I like to go in for, had he have not been a layable price, then I would have just taken the bet. I'd have just left it. Is what it is, but again, it's all about finding that comfort zone. Speaking of that in terms of numbers, I had a good bet on Ballinabola Ed. This was from last week, the previous week, when I did the video with Craig. Now, this wasn't something we talked about in the video. We talked after. We both made this dog an odds-on poke, and someone was laying 2.26 for like £2 early. So that's not normally the sort of liquidity that's in the market. So I took a couple of hundred quid of that. Then messaged him again a little bit later today because I was checking the market back, and the person had pushed it out at 2.36. They obviously wanted to get him laid, so I stuck some more on. And then I don't know if I might put the Twitter up on here, but I messaged him and just said, look, I'm going to have to just stop going on the exchanges because if he keeps drifting, I'm just going to have to keep smashing him up. And he did win. But that's the point of, like that Kelly criterion that Patrick Veach would have talked about, or just in general, the bigger the odds, the bigger the bet, like it loosely said principle, that if you think something's value and then potentially the price moves out again, you might have to have a little bit more on. In terms of me doubling my stake for it moving out a bit more, wouldn't follow the normal Kelly criterion, but I much prefer to bet by feel rather than a point staking system to do with my bank. Normally if I'm having a steady bet on something, it'll be somewhere between 200 and maybe £400 on a bet now. I never used to feel comfortable having that much on, and I don't suggest other people bet to those sorts of levels, but I'm happy to have these size bets on stuff that I like. And of course, people are saying you can't make money about the ground racing. As I touched on, when you get to the top tier, it's not as bad. The same period, so the start of the Derby on Bet365, there's £190 that's up on there from sort of loose bets. I've got my Betfair Sportsbook as well, so there's a few quid that's been made on there. I've got some first round bets in there, and then a little bit on Sing Along Sally. Fancied that. I also backed Sing Along Sally on the matchbook, but you'll see the activity on here. I did have a losing bit on there. So overall, just for completeness to show you where I've been betting, I set up the matchbook account for the Derby. I actually didn't bet a dog in the Derby. I had £200 on a dog that we was given a bit of word for that was running at Doncaster, who was beat, but managed to get 9-4 about a dog that went off about 6-4, I think. Value losers don't pay the bills, do they? But £190 down on that account. As I say, I had 200 quid on this dog that got beat, so about the same-ish on matchbook. But again, for completeness, I've obviously got some bets on the exchange from other tracks as well, so I might as well keep them in. So that's how I'm doing for the betting, and obviously, as I talked about, the bet slips, I'll shove them up again. Bannermat Fair one, £600 profit from betting shops as well. So when you chuck them all together from the dogs, as like I say, you can take off £960 of that being for the boys. So what's that, 750 odd. These two match each other out, and then we've got £600 from the online the betting shop stuff, so 1,350 maybe, and then there's a couple of quid profit made on there. So I think it's all right for 3 weeks worth of work on the dogs, and we've still got some anti-post bets going. Anyway, let's look at the dogs for this weekend, so I'll give you my thoughts on where we're going with it. We've got a sprint competition, which is nice. I do like the sprint stuff. I used to have a sprinter who I thought was going to be an absolute monster. Trialled at Milton Keynes, did good times. I've told loads of people this story. Everyone will be bored. Anyone's heard it before. But he just didn't like coming out the boxes. And we talk about trapping with the four-bend stuff. When you get into marathon distances, what's his face? Denman guy. Harry Finley used to say that he loved betting the marathons because no matter if they fall out the boxes, get a bit of trouble, they've got enough time to sort themselves out. In a sprint, of course, if you don't trap, you're stuffed, and sometimes you can trap and something else just comes out a little bit better. But it'll be interesting to see, like sub 16 of the sprint at Toaster is top grade, so it would be D1. When you come to these open race levels, it's 0.08 is a length. So you'll see some of these dogs that are doing like 1570s in there, 1560s, 1570 again. They're quick dogs. But it's not this wouldn't be the sort of thing that I'd want to get smashed into, to be honest with you. I did like Elite Dan. They had to redo the draw because they have Garden for the Irish dogs. Elite Dan was drawn in trap 1, and he was going to be a bet for me. Don't want to back him out of 3. And it's like it just looks tough. So basically, the sprints, I'm not going to have a bet in. I don't think they have been redrawn, so I'm going to have a little look just to double check on some stuff. Brookside Richie will be interesting because he looked like a decent potential future like Derby dog, but he flies out the boxes. This will be interesting to see him here. Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be any bets in the sprints. I'm just having a look at him for the sake of it. Crossfield Dusty's an absolute monster. You'll see there from like the prices that he goes off in sprints typically. Just short price, and you can see back there 1550s as well. Look, probably been kept a bit fresh for this, but then this issue here, like the slow away stuff, but like it isn't a problem. Absolute monster of a dog. Be short though. Car Bar's a dog I like. Shrewd Call, what a boy he is. Yeah, so there's going to be some nice racing, but this would be another one because first 3 go through to the semi-finals, then there'll be a final. Just watch it because then you'll be able to get some massive clues on speed, where they're running, all those sorts of things, and there could be some bets for the week after. Like if you look at this particular leg, Moan Team Mikey's been running out of 6. So you've got a couple of Raiders that are down on the inside. If one of them could get gone, like I touched on, I do quite like Carter Bar as a dog. He's won some decent races at Romford. That 370 section at Romford is rapido. 1577 is a decent run. Like Carter Bar could be one to have more than a second look at, I'd have thought. Depends how he traps, and I haven't seen his trials. You can catch them on YouTube, I think. They normally show them. Anywho, I've talked way too much about those. We'll get on to the Derby quarterfinals. First quarterfinal looks wide open. If you look at the betting for this, it is that case. Kildare, I sort of thought would run a little bit better the last day than he did. I've got Kilkenny Santa anti-post as well as Kildare. Kilkenny Santa apparently cramped up the last time, and I probably should have backed him at the weekend, but wasn't having a bet on the race anyway. It looked too competitive. Maybe from 4 was the problem with him. Back on the rails could be a good thing for him. Global Vision was really impressive, running out of 1 in a heat that looked like it wouldn't take much winning, but he showed so much early pace. Only a 4:29 sectional though, so that's where the numbers come into it. Sign at Ace, Cape Cloud will fly out the boxes. It'd be really interesting to see how those two go on the run-up and around that first bend. Priceless Jet for me just doesn't look as good as he used to be August 2018, so bound to be past his best now. And Coppice Fox, I thought in that Global Vision race could have been one to do it, but he's very hit and miss out the boxes. If he was to take a flyer, he's going to be in trouble because Sign at 8 and Cape Cloud will be out in front. So looks a no bet to me, that race. Could be some trouble in there. I think Kildare's got a lovely draw on the inside, but wouldn't be one for betting. Ballymat Fair one, you see there one, just another chance to brag. He ran really well, flew to the bend. He's got similar draw in terms of who's in trap 2. Like I don't know whether he will definitely lead up Aussie captain. I don't think he's got as much early as like a Ballinaboda Ed has, but I think he's got a good draw on the inside. I think Ballinaboda Ed will just absolutely shit home in this. You can see Diddish Frankie there's been running out of 2s and 1s. That's where he wants to be. Hello Hammond is a good dog on his day. Hasn't really been running as well as I would have liked him to have done, but he could come out the boxes a little bit quicker. But I think 1, 2, 3 are going to be the boxes or to the first bend all the same. Diddish Frankie will be just a tiny bit behind him. 4 and Rebel, lovely dog. Great comeback story. He won't be on the premises at the first bend. Ballinaboda Ed just going to be gone. And as much as he's shown on this early pace, he hasn't yet pinged, and he can ping as well. So Ballinaboda Ed, 2's on poke, see what we can get on the machine. Ballinaboda Ed wins. But he is 2-1 to win the whole thing. Now, when we get I talked about those dogs that are doing the 409s and 408s, he could be drawn in and around pace. So, what you want to do with him is up to you. Then the third quarterfinal, I think Latoro is going to win this. Now, he's been taken on the last twice. Obviously, Craig laid him the penultimate start, and then the last time people took him on, Savannah both flew and stayed on. I still thought Latoro was going to win that. You can see from the sectionals there, that was his slowest sectional. Didn't think he particularly minded being in 6, up in the running in the straight. And you can see Darren Asafa Boss has got 2 sectionals there that would cause him a little bit of a trouble, but he's got 420s in there as well, which I think Latoro can do better than. I think he's got a chance of pinging like he did in that first round. And on the clock, he is the fastest dog in the race. There are some decent runners in here though. There's 2 29-20 dogs and a 29-30 dog on the inside. I don't think the one on the inside is ever going to do that again. I don't really like Make Noise being in 2. He did move off. I don't think he's quick enough to win anyway. Sign at Denver, I thought he had a massive chance in that Savannah Bow race where they ran against Latoro the last day. That was the option. Like I thought if he pinged, he would win, and if Latoro got a clear run, he'd pick him up. They both did what I thought they'd do. I mean, Sign at Denver didn't really ping, and then they both got beat. So I don't think Sign at Denver's got enough. Romeo Magico was well backed and ran really, really well in defeat, but I just worry about how he's going to get to that first bend. He's probably got quite a good draw in 4, so that wouldn't necessarily be a problem. He would be the biggest danger in my eyes. But I think Laturo's one. It depends what happens price-wise. Like if he's an odds-on poker or an even money poker, I don't want to back him. I'm hoping because of the times and the way that the race has been drawn, we might get... Well, I'd want to be backing him at 7 to 4 plus. We'll see what it says on the exchanges, but I feel like we might get a chance to have a couple of quid on him. He wouldn't be one that I'd be smashing up though, because last twice, like especially the last time, I thought he was going to win and he didn't. Savannah Bow, the dog I talked about there that just picked up, monster effort the last day. Not 100% sure that the rails will suit, but stays nicely. Kilkenny Santa's got a nice draw because he should lead up on the inside. That would be enough. Like I say, cramped on the penultimate start apparently. Won nicely the last day. Sing Along Sally in 4 though. She's got a really good draw to ping and get gone. Sign It Goofy will come out the boxes really, really quick. But Sing Along Sally's got enough early pace and she's got enough track craft to hang on if she needs to, like she did the last time behind Sign It Ace. And Signet Goofy's not going to be moving in. Mickey's Barrett's been a great dog. Great story, great syndicate. But Sing Along Sally will win that race. And Sing Along Sally's one that I might back as well. She showed loads of early. She came out the boxes all right, but she's another one that could ping. But we'll see that one trial that she had where it was stumbled start. She actually almost got caught in the bars on the way out, which is a feature of the toaster traps, which isn't really very good. But yeah, I think she'll win. And you can go far worse than following a bitch in form. Then we've got the Derby Plate Heats. These ones I can go for a little bit quicker, but there is anti-post betting on this one. You get dogs that haven't, some of them might not have even run in the Derby, but you'll get dogs that, I don't know, maybe they've all had to run in the Derby. Anyway, Derby Plate, You'll get dogs in here that just basically didn't get through very far in the actual derby, but they might be dogs that could run quite well. I don't really like the look of the first heat in terms of betting. Triona's Travel was one that me and Davey talked about for that first round, but she just doesn't seem to be running very well at the moment. And that's more than enough of a reason to not want to have a bet in the race, because I think on her day she would smash up in this, and she's got a very good chance of potentially going around handy. I think Swift would probably trap and lead, but I just can't trust her, so I'd leave that race alone. The second heat, Warzone Tom would be an absolute good thing in my eyes. Chelm's Fred on the inside that you can see from his couple of sectionals round here, a 4:11 and a 4:08, and he absolutely pinged in that A1 the last day. Time-wise, he isn't good enough to beat Warzone Tom, and Warzone Tom will be picking up. But Chelm's Fred will move in a little bit. I'm hoping that Warzone Tom will just get a lovely pitch out from trap 5. Drumcrow Bent would be in and around him in terms of pace around those first couple of bends, but Warzone Tom's a monster if he gets a clear run. So Warzone Tom, I think, would win that. He is going to have to do it from behind a little bit, but I like him. Again, don't think it'll be a price. Not sure if I better get smashed into him because of his running style. Like I talked about this in an earlier video, that you're better to be on dogs that are on the bunny. Bubbly Bollinger's a very quick dog in the third heat. I do think that Amaze Me Zeb was big prices relatively in his races in the Derby. Doesn't come out the boxes at all, but would be one of those with a clear run that could go well. And Headford Mike will go to the inside. Infield Trojan, I backed that in the first run. You saw that in the bet there. Could run well, but I don't think sees up the trip properly. And Le Bonite on the outside pings. It's got a massive chance. Misses the break, it will be in all sorts of trouble. Now it can trap and it can run really well. So Le Bonite would be very interesting because he's going to lead up at Amaze Me Zeb. We need to see what the prices are doing, because I do think that Amaze Me Zeb could be the sort of saver bet. Bubbly Bollinger might have a really good pitch on the inside, but again, he's so slow away that I think he'll just be stuck behind a load of dogs. So could have a bet in there. Le Bonite could be a bet. Amaze Me Zeb might be some sort of saver. And then the last heat of it, we've got Goldie's Perryman for Fergal O'Brien Racing. Better draw for him in trap 2. Should ping, should get to the rails. Got a chance of leading up, and if he does that, then he'll go well. Bocco's Belly can fly out the boxes. He won't be inconveniencing Goldie's Perryman on the run up or around the corner, I don't think. And on the clock, Goldie's Perryman's got a proper chance. We do have a former track record holder in trap 6 Sport in Chile. Now, it's been another one of those that, unless he goes and gets out on the bunny, isn't really running the times since. Has got a nice enough draw to probably run quite well, but I wouldn't have a bet in it, but I'd be hoping that Goldie's Perryman would run very well there. I think he'll be well found though. So that'll be Saturday's views and potential bets. As I said, didn't do the last week one. Sorry I didn't do it. It's a bit of after time in this video in it, but I've stuck it out anyway. Best of luck if you're having a bet this weekend. I'll do something for the semi-final and then the final night, whether you like it or not. But thanks again for all the support. Yeah, catch you again another time.